wanted to try out. It is a pack of needle pullers from Loran. I saw this a couple weeks ago, and because I love to hand stitch, you guys know I'm always hand stitching, I thought this would be a really nice aid to help me pull the needle out of the fabric in very stiff fabrics. And this came in really handy because now that I'm working on some jacketing for my McCall 6279, I'm struggling with actually getting the needle through all those layers of thick fabric. So I'll show you a demo of how it works. So far so good. It is doing exactly what it says it will do. It is giving you a little bit more, I don't know what you will say, I guess able to hold and pull the thread and the needle without it slipping. So I guess it does exactly what it say it will do. So this is my verdict. The thumb finger, it fits perfectly fine. So if you only need one, this one is the best one. This one here is a medium and it's a little too big for my finger. I have to really position it well, or else after a couple of times of putting the needle in, it starts to wiggle out and I can feel it, and that's kind of uncomfortable. When I'm doing hand stitches, I'm doing a lot of hand stitches and I don't want to be constantly repositioning these things. So I would probably use this more one-on-one. Now, you don't need these. I just bought them because I wanted to try them out, seeing that I do a lot of hand stitching. You could use a regular old, what do you call these things? We call them fingers, but you know what they use these for in the office when you're going through a lot of papers. You could use these if you have some at your disposal, and they come in different sizes. This is the small, and it fits on my finger well. The only thing is that this little pointy here also make it come off. So this is actually kind of ergonomically better for the actual finger. But this actually fits better because it's a small. Maybe if they make one that is small, it will work better. So this was just my mini review of the needle pullers. Now I also picked up a bottle of Fray Check. Now if you're new to sewing, you probably haven't been introduced to this stuff as yet. It is a liquid seam sealant, and basically what that means is that it prevents threads and fabrics from raveling out. So as I just said, Fray Check is used to seal any type of ravel fabric or threads or anything like that. So in this situation here, when I'm working on my dress, I used bias binding to finish off the armhole. And seeing that when you're using bias binding, it's going to have a point where you have to overlap the bias binding at the side seam. I usually put a little bit of Fray Check like right here where I snip off the excess bias binding to seal those threads from raveling. So you just put a little bit of Fray Check there, and this is not going to unravel. It's perfectly fine right there. Another great tip that I learned from Louise Cutting, and the reason why I had to run out and get a new bottle, was to seal your buttonholes before you open them, before you cut them. So what you want to do is you want to put a little bit of Fray Check in the center of the buttonhole and let it dry. And once this dry, what it's going to do is that it's going to seal those buttonhole stitches, so when you cut it, like seal it to the actual fabric itself. So when you make that slit in the center, it's not going to ravel out those buttonholes. I'm not a professional when it comes to making buttonholes, and every once in a while I'll always see a couple of stitches trying to come out. This prevents that. It's an actual wonderful tip. Fray Check has a lot of uses in terms of it does the same thing, but you could seal off fabric in a lot of places. So I do think this is something worth having on hand at all times. However, if in a pinch, you could use good old clear nail polish to seal your threads in your raveling fabric. It works. It's something that I've tried. It's something that I've seen online. Other people have tried and they talked about it. So in a pinch, clear nail polish. But definitely, you know, this is really cheap and affordable. Get one. Years ago, I found something on a message board that changed the way I clean my serger. Now this is the brush that comes with the serger. It's this plastic coarse bristles, and I read on the message board that what they used, the person, was a synthetic paintbrush. Someone also said that they use a synthetic makeup brush, but I had already went out and purchased this one, and this is from the Donna Dewberry painting line from Michaels. And so what you want to do is that you want to dab a little bit of mushing oil on the edge of there, and when you're cleaning, and you see how it picks up the actual length, and this is great for when you're working all inside of the mechanism and those hard to find places. A little bit of oil on there is going to help to grip the length up, and this is perfect for cleaning your sewing machine or your serger, a synthetic paintbrush. So I hope you enjoyed this week's video showing you some products, some uses, and some alternatives, and I will be back with a video soon.